Chapter 5 Notes. It was well past midnight by the time Kota made it back to nowhere, with Chronicler's limp body slung across his lacerated shoulders. The town's houses and shops were dark and silent, but the Waystone Inn was full of light. Bust stood in the doorway, practically dancing with irritation. When he spotted the approaching figure, he rushed down the street, waving a piece of paper angrily. "A note? You sneak out and leave me a note?" he hissed angrily. "What am I, some dockside whore?" Kote turned around and shrugged Chronicler's limp body into Bust's arms. "I knew you would just argue with me, Bust." Bust held Chronicler easily in front of him. "It wasn't even a good note. If you are reading this, I'm probably dead. What sort of a note is that?" "You weren't supposed to find it till morning," Kota said tiredly, as they began to walk down the street to the inn. Bust looked down at the man he was carrying, as if noticing him for the first time. "Who is this?" He shook him a little, eyeing him curiously before slinging him easily over one shoulder like a burlap sack. "Some unlucky sod who happened to be on the road at the wrong time," Kota said dismissively. "Don't shake him too much. His head might be on a little loose." "What the hell did you sneak off for anyway?" Buzz demanded as they entered the inn. "If you're going to leave a note, it should at least tell me what—" Buzz's eyes widened as he saw Kota in the light of the inn, pale and streaked with blood and dirt. "You can go ahead and worry if you want," Kota said dryly. "It's every bit as bad as it looks." "You went out hunting for them, didn't you?" Bast hissed, then his eyes widened. "No, you kept a piece of the one Carter killed. I can't believe you. You lied to me. To me!" Kota shied as he trudged up the stairs. "Are you upset by the lie, or the fact that you didn't catch me at it?" he asked as he began to climb. Buzz spluttered. "I'm upset that you thought you couldn't trust me." They let their conversation lapse as they opened one of the many empty rooms on the second floor, undressed Chronicler, and tucked him snugly into bed. Kota left the man's kettle and travel sack on the floor nearby. Closing the door to the room behind him, Kota said, "I trust you, Bust, but I wanted you safe. I knew I could handle it." "I could have helped Rashi." Bust's stone was injured. "You know I would have." "You can still help, Bust," Kota said as he made his way to his room and sat heavily on the edge of his narrow bed. "I need some stitching done." He began to unbutton his shirt. "I could do it myself, but the tops of my shoulders and my back are hard to reach." "Nonsense, Rashi. I'll do it." Kota made a gesture to the door. "My supplies are down in the basement." Buzz sniffed disdainfully. "I will use my own needles, thank you very much. Good honest bone. None of your nasty jagged iron things stabbing you like little slivers of hate." He shivered. "Stream and stone. It's frightening how primitive you people are." Buzz bustled out of the room, leaving the door open behind him. Kota slowly removed his shirt, grimacing and sucking his breath through his teeth as the dried blood stuck and tugged against the wounds. His face went stoic again when Bust came back into the room with a basin of water and began to clean him off. As the dried blood was washed away, a wild scoring of long straight cuts became clear. They gaped redly against the innkeeper's fair skin, as if he had been slashed with a barber's razor or a piece of broken glass. There were perhaps a dozen cuts in all, but most of them on the top of his shoulders, a few across his back, and along his arms. He started on the top of his head and ran down his scalp to behind his ear. "I thought you weren't supposed to bleed, Rashi," Blast said. "Bloodless and all that." "Don't believe everything you hear in stories, Bast. They lie to you." "Well, you aren't nearly as bad off as I thought," Buzz said, wiping his hands clean. Thought by all rights you should have lost a piece of your ear. Were they wounded like the one that attacked Carter? Not that I could see, Kotta said. How many were there? 5. 5? Buzz said, aghast. How many did the other fellow kill? He distracted one of them for a while, Kotta said generously. Ampau Rashi, Buzz said, shaking his head as he threaded a bone needle with something thinner and finer than gut. You should be dead. You should be dead twice. Kotta shrugged. It's not the first time I should be dead, Bust. I'm a fair hand at avoiding it. Bust bent to his work. This will sting a bit, he said, his hand strangely gentle. Honestly, Rashi, I can't see how you've managed to stay alive this long. Kotta shrugged again and closed his eyes. Neither do I, Bast, he said. His voice was tired and grey.